which I referred to the last lesson, past simple and the past perfect. Here we will start with the past simple tense, which we have already taken the first term, but we are going to remember it together. الفورم طبعا بتاع past simple. He played tennis yesterday. They had a lot of fun last week. So here are two examples. The first one contains a regular verb to which we add d or ed or ied. The second one, which is had here, is طبعا an irregular form of the verb in the past, which is the past form of have or has. Negative form is going to be with didn't plus infinitive. Here's an example. They didn't attend the party yesterday, so didn't plus infinitive. Question. Here's the form. There are two kinds of questions. A short form, which is did plus subject plus infinitive, or when we use a question where the full question form, which is a question word which is what, followed by did, subject, and the infinitive. Yeah, did you visit your aunt last week? You would answer with the short form yes or no, and the second one you are going to give me a complete sentence to answer it. Yeah, الكيوردز يا طبعا كلمات الدالة بتاعتنا yesterday, last anything, last week, last year and so on. ago طبعا وقبلها مدة, a period of time followed by ago. You can tell me that I visited Cairo 2 weeks ago, a period of time, specific period. Once طبعا ذات مرة, one day, in the past, in ancient times, and followed by year in the past and so on. Yeah, the usage. Look at these sentences. There was a one in the middle to make some sort of attraction to you. We went to the cinema 2 days ago. I went to school and I had a lot of lessons. If I were you, I would study hard. She always visited her uncle when she was young. She used to visit her uncle when she was young. There are 4 sentences related to 4 usages. The first one, went to the cinema 2 days ago. That's a short action ended in the past. I went to school and had a lot of lessons what we call consequences or sequence in the past, اللي هو التكرار في الماضي. If I were you, I would study hard طبعا, أو النصيحة يعني قلنا قبل كده shouldn't. If I were you, I would or I wouldn't are equals. She always visited her uncle when she was young. That's the past habit, and that's so important. We can use used to plus an infinitive to talk about past habits, but we can use the second form directly or an adverb of frequently followed by the second form. Here is the past perfect tense. The past perfect consists of had plus bb. As you see, I had done my homework before going to bed. Actually, when we talk about the past perfect, we are talking about an action which preceded another action in the past, or to talk about an action which was complete before at a specific point in the past. Here is the negative form. They hadn't done their homework, so their teacher was angry. Hadn't plus LPB. How to form a question? Actually, we have 2 kinds. The short form, which would be answered by yes or no. Had you seen the film before sleeping? You would answer yes, I had, no, I hadn't. What had you done? Here's a question word followed by had, the subject, and the BP. What had you done before having lunch? You could say, before having lunch, I had washed my hands. The usage. We use the past perfect to say that an action was completed by an exact past time reference. Here is an example. By last 7 yesterday, I had finished all my jobs. We use the past perfect to say that an action was completed before another action, as I have just told you. After I have worked for a long time, I had rest. Yeah, keywords. طبعا في كلمات دالة كتير, and I hope that you would be so focused for the following points. Here is after, as soon as, when, followed by past perfect to talk about the first action in the past time, followed by past simple, which is going to be the second action. Here's example: after I had finished, so that happened first. After I had finished my homework, I slept, the second action. Here is the opposite, the complete opposite of after, as soon as, and when, before, by the time, or when, followed by past simple, the second action, and past perfect, the first action. Someone is going to tell me, teacher, when should it followed by past perfect or past simple? Actually, it's related to the meaning. For example, I can say, when I arrived at the station, the train had left, so I missed it, because past perfect is the first action. But if you tell me, when I had arrived at the station, the train left, so you were lucky and reached the train, that's the meaning. Here's an example: before I went to school, I had lunch. That's the first action, and had the second action. Negative past simple, till or until, followed by past perfect to talk about that you didn't do something till حتى فعلت شيء آخر اللي هو past perfect, the first action. I didn't sleep till I have finished the film, so I finished the film first, then I slept. Subject plus had plus no sooner PP, hardly PP, scarcely PP, followed by when I talk about no sooner, so it would be then, hardly or scarcely, it would be when, followed by past simple, which is going to be the second action. Actually, the example it would make it so clear. He had no sooner completed his studies than he traveled abroad. I had hardly or scarcely arrived when the train left. First action followed by second action. No sooner, that's a very important form. Sometimes we start with no sooner, hardly or scarcely. Such a case is going to be a form of a question. No sooner had, we would replace the subject and the verb, which is the auxiliary. No sooner had he completed his studies than he traveled abroad. Hardly scarcely had I arrived when the train left. I hope that you stop the video and focus on such a difference, because it's so important. Here's another keyword. It was only when, it was not until, followed by past perfect, the first action, followed by that, followed by past simple, second action. Here's the example: it was only when I had arrived, so I had arrived first at the station, that the film started, the second action. After or before, and that's a very important point, could be followed by verb plus ing, but the second form of the second sentence is going to be past simple if we are talking about after, going to be past perfect if we are talking about before. Here's an example: after reading the book, I slept. The second action. But before going to bed, I had finished, the first action, had finished reading the book. Having could be followed by the BB and another past simple, a second action. Actually, having here replaced after, but it followed by the BB directly. Having reached the station, the bus arrived, so I reached the station, then the bus arrived. Past simple and past perfect passive is so important. When we talk about the past simple passive, here is the object followed by was or were plus PP. I ate my lunch yesterday at 2 p.m. It's an active sentence. My lunch was eaten yesterday at 2 p.m. That's the passive form. When we talk about the past perfect, the thief had stolen the wallet. That's an active. The wallet had been stolen. That's a passive form. Yeah, here's an exercise related to the words, the new vocabulary, and the grammar. Yeah, here is the second part, our new words. Abilities. طبعا الابيليتيز هي القدرات. artist طبعا فنان. business اللي هو شركة أو عمل تجاري. critical طبعا معناها نقدي. critic ناقد. criticize معناها ينتقد. engineering طبعا اللي هي الهندسة. engine اللي هو المحرك أو الموتور. bridge طبعا معناها كوبري. I have told you such a very important expression which is bridge the gap. معناها يعني يبقى في relation, understanding and so on. mean طبعا as a verb معناها يعني أو يقصد. could be an adjective معناها شحيح أو بخيل opposite to genders. equipment طبعا equipment معناها معدة أو معدات. it's uncountable. be careful. equip as a verb معناها طبعا يجهز أو يعد. knowledge معناها معرفة أو خبرة. experience اللي هي الخبرة. experiment معناها تجربة علمية. keen معناها متحمس أو راغب فيه. confident واثق. conference طبعا هي الثقة نفسها as a noun. practice تدريب. practice يتدرب. see noun is verb. bullying طبعا التنمر. so called معناها يسمى. solver طبعا معناها حل أو يحل. solve طبعا يحل كverb. solver اللي هو الحل يعني. solution طبعا هو الحل. thinking التفكير. understanding اللي هو الفهم. appreciate طبعا يقدر. appreciation التقدير. homeschooling طبعا الدراسة عبر المنزل. practical طبعا معناها عملي. otherwise وإلا. طبعا I hope that you got benefit. There is an exercise related to the last important words. It was your teacher. Dear students, I hope to see you soon. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.